guys, good morning and happy Thursday to you. This is Kim, independent designer with Chalk Couture and Chalk is Chic. I'm going to get this pulled up so I can see comments if they come over, but I hope y'all are doing super fantastic. We're going to get this day started again with a quick Chalk Couture demo. Today is going to be glass etching and couture ink. So I'm going to show you ink on fabric and ink on glass surfaces, and then we're also going to do glass etching, which is one of my favorite things to show you. So first and foremost, we're going to start with a little cute pouch from Chalk Couture. It is discontinued, but I still have several of these and they're super cute. And we have our ink mat. Now our ink mat comes in two different sizes. You have 11 by 23, which is what I'm using here, and I just cut it up into little bitty pieces, or you have 17 by 17. But the 11 by 23 is great for little bitty projects. I cut it up in little bitty sections and it makes it easy. So all we do, good morning Vicky, all we do is put our ink mat on the inside and we're going to push our fabric down. So here is one thing, we're going to talk about the F word really quick, and I don't mean the F word, the tacky word, but fuzzing. Absolutely, positively. Think about fabric. It starts with an F. Think about fuzzing. It starts with an F. We are not ever, ever, ever going to fuzz or transfer when we're doing fabric. You don't want to fuzz. So no fuzzing on fabric. So we're just going to peel off our transfer from its backer sheet. And we are going to put it down on our surface where we just were. Now I'm kind of lining it up just to kind of keep it straight as humanly possible. It looks good to me, pretty centered, but if you feel like it's not, all you have to do is lift it up and recenter it really quick. And we're just going to push that down. Again, you're not, and that still looks crooked to me. It's probably just the way it's sitting, but I'm going to straighten it out one more time. You're never, ever, ever going to fuzz, though, when you use fabric. So that's why I start out with the fabric one, because you do not want to fuzz. So there is Believe in Yourself. We are going to use Shimmer Silver ink and also Regal ink. Like a purple is that color. So we're going to start with BU. And ink, by the way, dries very, very slowly. You want to start off of your silkscreen area, and you're also only going to ink in one direction. So you never want to ink in multiple directions. You want to ink in one direction. So I'm inking top to bottom. You don't want to ink side to side and top to bottom because you can create bleeding on that. So you're just going to ink, squeegeeing on and squeegeeing off. And we're going to talk about heat setting with ink because ink makes this permanent. So one of the things that you have to be super careful about anytime you're inking is just making sure that you don't have your chalk ink, or excuse me, Chalkology ink over your project. Again, we're going to start off of our silk screen and just pull down. So we're squeegeeing on and squeegeeing off in one direction, either top to bottom or bottom to top. I'm not going to go side to side. So a little bit of ink does go a long way, but you also have to make sure it gets good coverage. So we're just continuing to do this. Inking, inking, inking. And what we're going to have to do after we get done inking is do a hand check. That's one of the most important steps when you're working with fabric. You want to make sure that you don't have ink all over you, that you're going to get it all over your project. So you have to be really super careful with that. Good morning, Jenny. Thank you, Vicky. I appreciate that. And it's early morning here, so this night nurse is not a morning person. So if I sound like I'm still tired, I really am still tired. So we've done this, okay? We're going to peel this up side to side. That actually needs a little bit more ink. Let me push that through really quick. Hopefully. Let me see if that did better. Still need some. We may have to go over this BU a little bit more. We'll pull it up and see what we're dealing with. Yeah, we're going to have to go back over BU. Sometimes if it's old, because this ink is also, the shimmer silver is kind of on the wee bit thicker side. So I'll go back over this after it dries. The key with this is you have to let ink dry. Ink takes a little bit more time than regular Chalkology paste. So Chalkology paste, if you let it dry on its own, is going to dry in about 5 to 6 minutes. Ink takes way, way, way longer. I would definitely go back and wash this transfer and let it dry, let this ink dry, and then go back and just reapply this silver part right here, because the Regal, you see, did really well. The shimmer silver ink is kind of a little bit on the thicker side, which is probably why it didn't go through that silk screen as good, but I never add water to my ink. I ink it just like it is, and I'll just go back and re-ink this section. So let's talk about drying really quick. You're going to want to first off take out your little ink mat. We're going to lay that to the side. I'm going to put my ink mat back over it. And by the way, on the 11 by 23, they have little stickers like this where you cut it up. And not every piece has it, so I added just a little piece of placement tape whenever I did my cut up, so I would know that this is the front, because if you stick this side to the side of your sticky mat, it is going to be sticking there forever. But I'll let this dry. I'll go back and add another layer to BU just so it can kind of get a little bit more crisp. Probably open up a new jar of shimmer silver. But once it dries completely and dries to the touch, you want to be sure that you let it dry. In the South, normally, under normal conditions, like right now, it would be hot and humid. It's cold outside, and we had frost on the ground again this morning. But you want to let it dry. Once it dries, you can heat set 2 different ways. So you can heat set using an iron or using an easy press. If you have an iron, you're going to heat set it on the high cotton setting for 4 minutes on both sides. So take a piece of parchment paper, put it over your project after it's dry, iron for 4 minutes, flip your project inside out, iron for 4 more minutes. But you want that parchment paper between your heat device and your actual ink itself. If you're using an easy press, it's 330 degrees. That's 330 for 30 seconds on both sides. Really, really simple, easy to do, and super duper fun. You can ink on fabric like I just did, like a little canvas bag, tea towels, aprons, t-shirts, you name it, and you can ink on it. Okay, moving right along, we are going to do a glass cup. Now, this is probably one of my favorite things to do, and I'm going to step on my soapbox for just a second. You do have to kind of be careful where you get your glass mugs. You can use these at the Dollar Tree. This one is from Target, and it never is going to tell you that it's oven safe. Usually no actual mugs will say it's oven safe. It will say dishwasher and microwave safe. So again, we're going to start. Let me roll this up just a smidgen. Keep our little project still. We're going to start with our cute little scatter sunshine. Hopefully the sun comes out today. We're going to fuzz, 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 fuzz. Fuzz, fuzz, fuzz. So one of the things that I do actually before I get started is I will take rubbing alcohol and take just a little bit of a cloth, and I am going to go over my container. And I'm actually going to go ahead and do the cleaning really quick on my other one that we're going to use next with this alcohol, so it can be drying while we're inking this. So why do I do that? Why do I clean it with alcohol? Well, guys, we walk around with oils all over our hands. And if you have oils on here from touching it, you are going to not let your project settle well. Thanks, Emery. It sure is fun. And we're going to take our fuzz transfer and we are going to stick it on our cup. Now, it's on there. What I do is I take my fingers and I push out from the center, making sure that everything is pushed down well. Now, I will tell you, some of the glass kind of goes really, really concave toward the bottom, and it will make your application process of a transfer a little bit more difficult, but you can kind of see around here, like if you have a little wrinkle here, as long as it's not wrinkled inside your transfer, you're going to be okay. So we're going to use Bumblebee ink, and we are going to ink this. So again, we're going to start off of our silk screen and pull down over our silk screen area. So you're going to start on teal and just pull down. Remember that we're pulling top to bottom or bottom to top. You never want to pull side to side and top to bottom when you're inking. And the only reason for that, guys, is simply because you don't want to risk bleeding. If you're pulling in every direction, you're going to risk pulling your transfer up, and you can potentially have bleeding with the ink underneath it. Okay, so we squeegeed on and squeegeed off. A little bit of ink does go a long, long way. And we are going to peel and reveal. Now, you want to be cautious when you're peeling off on glass and just peel kind of slow. You don't want to stretch your transfer. So I peel pretty slow whenever I'm pulling off my glass. And this is so adorable, guys. Look at that cute, cute, cute detail. Scatter sunshine, just simply adorable. Okay, so let's talk about heat setting for glass really quick. The only thing that you have to do when you're heat setting glass is, one, again, the dry time is so essential with ink. You've got to let it dry and let it sit. Now, I try to let mine sit for a couple of days at the least. Usually I let it sit much, much longer. And then once it dries, you're going to take your glass and you're going to stick it on a cookie sheet in a cold oven. Yes, I say cold. Once you get the glass in there, turn on your oven to 350 degrees. It's 350. And you're going to set your timer for 1 hour. So 1 hour, your glass is going to sit in there. 350 degrees, it's going to heat up and it's going to decrease in temperature once it's done, because when that timer goes off, you're going to turn off your oven, but do not remove your glass. Leave it in there and let it cool off on its own. I usually let it cool off overnight and come back and deal with it. Once you do all of those things, it is dishwasher safe, top rack. I tend to still hand wash mine, but these are super fun gifts, especially, I don't know if y'all's schools are back in session, but my favorite thing that I used to love to do when my son was in school was do teacher gifts, end of the year gifts. These are just super fun and economical ways. I think I got this latte mug for $1.99 at Target. I mean, you can do some fun projects. And remember that this is part of that transfer. That is a bunch of moving pieces. Let me show you really quick. It looks like we have several of them, but it is a mini transfer. So there's 12 transfers on one. And if you think about how many times we get uses out of our transfers, anywhere from 8 to 12, if you had one of those, you have 120 projects that you can do. You can put this on t-shirts. You can put this on glasses, magnets for your fridge. Really and truly, the possibilities are endless with this. So now is my fun thing. I get to show y'all glass etching. I absolutely positively love glass etching. It is one of my favorite things. We're going to actually use one of our birds from our April Club Couture. And I'm going to use this cute little candle votive holder. And we're going to start first by fuzzing our transfer. So we're going to fuzz, 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 fuzz. We're going to get this cute little bird lined up on our transfer. And okay, so we're going to do glass etching, and I will show you the etching cream that I use. Now, you can get this locally at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, any place like that. Because of being a pediatric oncology nurse and the pandemic, I got mine off of Amazon, because unless I absolutely have no choice about going into a store, I just simply don't go still. So we are going to take glass etching cream. This is what it is. I'll hold it up just in case somebody wants to screenshot that. I always hate it when they show things and then they're like, oh, we're going to pull it away. No, I'm going to hold it there for just a second. But Armor Etch Glass Etching Cream, just in case anybody wants to screenshot it. Super easy to find. You can pretty much find it anywhere. Okay, so we have our bird here, and we're going to be doing our Club Couture from April tomorrow. So you can see club. We're going to talk all about the club. And we are going to take glass etching cream in our multi-tool, and I am going to dab glass etching cream on top of this transfer. I'm so in love with this Club Couture for April, guys. My living room is mid-century modern, and I have birds like this all in my living room. I absolutely positively love it. Okay, so we're going to set our timer over here on my personal phone for 5 minutes. So I'm going to start, I've already gotten globs of etching cream here. I'm going to start by pushing through that etching cream onto the glass. You know, I just took globs and put it on top, but if you think about it, when we're inking or doing paste, we want to make sure we push it through the glass and that it's pushed through completely. So this is a really big, wide open area. Not much to it, not really much design to it, but this is going to be so stellar cute. We want to make sure we put back what we moved around and make sure all of our silkscreen area is covered. So we're just patting this back on. Okay, once we pat it back on, it's going to sit. Now normally, depending on the design, it can take up to 2 minutes to do that. It didn't take us long because the design is very, very open and very small. So we're going to just let it set for the last little bit. So we have about 3 minutes and 50 seconds left. The cool thing I like about glass etching, let's talk about the benefits to glass etching versus ink or paste. So with ink, you of course have to heat set it, right? When you get done with it, it's not finished. You do have to heat set it. You can't just be done and walk away from it. So you do have to heat set it. With paste, it does have a dry time, but if you're working on a surface like a chalkboard from Chalk Couture, it's reusable over and over again. So it's one of those things that is super duper cool. And I love working with both of those mediums. But the cool thing I love more than anything about etching, which by the way, this etching cream is from a craft store, not from Chalk Couture. It's not a Chalk Couture product. But the cool thing I love about glass etching is once you get done with it, you're absolutely positively done with it. There's absolutely nothing you have to do after you get done with the glass etching and you do the rinsing. It's absolutely done. There's no going back. You don't have to do anything. And the cool thing is this transfer in particular, we have these two birds, and then this other bird is part of our Club Couture for April. You're going to see me use it with Chalkology paste tomorrow. So one of the benefits to our transfers is it's interchangeable. If I want to ink today, paste tomorrow, I can. If I want to glass etch today, glass etch tomorrow, paste tomorrow with the same transfer, I can totally do that. All I have to do is clean my transfers between uses, allow it to dry, and then I am completely done. So it is just super, super fun. Great way to do some Chalk Couture goodness and to spread some love. This is a little votive candle holder from IKEA. So it's very inexpensive. If you're a fan of IKEA, y'all know how inexpensive it is. But it's super cute, super economical. So we'll be using this same transfer tomorrow in our project. So you can see that it is part of a wonderful thing. You don't have to worry about anything, and you can totally take care of projects back and forth. So we only have 1 minute and 30 seconds left, and I'm going to walk you through what we're going to do. We're going to take a squeegee once our timer goes off, and we're going to squeegee off this etching cream. We're actually going to put it back in our container to use it for next time, because you can kind of recycle this several times. Once we get done with that, we're going to take some water. Now, if I was in my kitchen, like we were supposed to be yesterday, if I was in my kitchen, we would be doing this over a faucet and cool running water. But because this is live on Facebook and we're not in my kitchen, we are going to be doing it here in my craft room. We're going to spray it off with some water, and then you're going to be able to see the end result, which is pretty freaking phenomenal if you ask me. But we have just 41 more seconds left to go, and we are going to be seeing this cute little bird. I cannot wait, because this is actually going to go in my living room. It matches my colors in there, and I just love this transfer. So the transfer we are going to be doing tomorrow is the April Club Couture. It is a super fun program, and you can do Chalk Couture for $19.99 a month. It is super fun, and we'll go over all those details tomorrow. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So there's our timer. We're going to turn that off. Let's take off our glass etching cream. This is the fun part. So we're just going to squeegee off. I'm going to put it back in my container. Squeegee off. The other reason I do squeegeeing off is I actually make it easier to clean up my transfer as well. So now I'm going to peel. And again, you want to pull slowly when you're pulling on glass so you don't stretch your transfer. And I'm going to hold this up where you can see it before we spray it. So that's what it looks like before we spray that glass etching cream. Now I'm going to take my little bucket, and all we're going to do is spray it off with some water. Now again, if I was in my kitchen sink, I would do this under cool running water, but because we're on Facebook Live, we're doing it on our craft table. And I want to hold this up and show you. It is going to be so cute. I'm just drying it off really well. And that, my friends, let's see if you can see it really well. There is our glass etching. Super, super cute. I do want to show you a clear cup so you can see what clear looks like. This is one I did on a Facebook Live, so you can see the clear glass etching. But once you glass etch, it's completely dry. Completely done. There is the colored version. Still can see it, and still so, so beautiful. But easy peasy to do. And that, my friends, is inking and glass etching all in one. Now you may be asking yourself, how do you clean your transfer? The same way we did yesterday. So if you didn't catch that live, go back and watch that live. We're going to clean our transfers the same way, and I will be adding another layer of the shimmer silver here once it dries, and everything will be all well in the world. So I hope y'all have an amazing rest of your day. Hang on tight, guys. It's almost the weekend. I'll be live with you again tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be doing our Club Couture from April. You don't want to miss it because it is super cute. So I look forward to inking or chalking, whatever the case may be, tomorrow with you. Y'all have a blessed day.